Ladies and gents, and welcome back to the West Ham Faithful YouTube channel. You're back for another edition of a Faithful preview show. Today we're going to be discussing Southampton, David Moyes' press conference, predicted lineups, and score predictions. Before I go on with Moyes' press conference, if you like the content and what you've seen from me so far, please click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified next time I upload a video. Anyway, let's crack straight on with Moyes' press conference. He had a few comments to say. I've quoted a few bits, and then I've just summarised basically what he says, because he just says basically that just in a lot more words. Anyway, sorry, wrong notes. Right, basically he starts off by saying Antonio's still got a cold, but he's feeling a lot better. Zouma, I saw people saying on Twitter that he was isolating, which makes me think that he's got COVID, but I don't know. All Moyes said in his press conference is that he was ill as well. He's got the sniffles, basically. Apparently Tilo Kehrer was carrying a little knock, which ruled him out for the Anderlecht game, but apparently he's in contention to be fine for tomorrow. Maxwell Cornet's the same as he was last week. He went on to elaborate on how calf strains can either be like 3 weeks or 10 weeks. And then after that, he touched on condoning the Anderlecht fans' behaviour and the riot policeman getting hurt. Which, yeah, regardless of your opinion on the police, no one deserves to get hurt when they're just trying to do their job. Do you know what I mean? For no fucking reason. And then Moyes went on to touch on giving his opinion on our most recent form. He went on to say, "I'm really pleased we've got something going again. We're back to winning games." But he goes, "I'm still looking for improvement in other areas. There's still room to get better, which is a good sign, but winning is the most important thing. So hopefully we can keep that going." And then he touches on the competitiveness of the Premier League, saying how basically anyone can beat anyone on the right day at the right time, which is fact. It is fact. But we're a team in form, in very good form, and Southampton ain't. With no disrespect to them, but Moyes also got asked on Hassan Hootel, and basically said it's not really my position to comment on what's going on at Southampton at the moment. But he goes on to say he's a very experienced manager and he's had some great successes with the Saints. We will have a difficult game against them like we always have had. He then goes on to speak about our European adventures over the past 2 years. And me personally, I think he's going for this Conference League. All the signs are there. He's not. If he didn't want to be in it, he wouldn't play anyone at all that's gonna play at the weekends. He'd do a big Sam and fucking play loads of kids just to prove a point or some shit. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. He goes on to after talking about the European adventures. I noticed he doesn't really say much for the rest of the 9-minute interview, but can I just put this out here? Nathan Agurd. Can someone tell him it's Naif? It's not Nathan. I can't pronounce it right, but he's on closer than him. But it just reminded me of how my dad used to pronounce Thierry Henry. He used to say Terry Henry. Yeah. Irrelevant, but I just thought I'd put it out there. And the last thing I did notice in that interview is it seemed towards the end as though he was hinting as if Jared Bowen could be the next West Ham striker. By saying like all the best wingers in the world have ended up as a centre forward, like Messi and Ronaldo, and yeah, I don't know about this. Sometimes don't change, don't if there's nothing wrong with it, leave it alone. You know what I mean? Jared Bowen's a stunning winger, but I just think he's a little bit too small. And I know there's really small strikers, but not to suit West Ham. West Ham don't work with little strikers. It didn't happen with Hernandez, Chicharito. Yeah, we just don't. I think like our smallest successful striker was probably like Di Canio in recent years. That's not even that recent either. And yeah, when he a midfielder or a winger or centre attacking midfielder, I don't know. I was too young to. I would before I started following West Ham properly. He had retired. Not that I don't appreciate Paolo, but do you know what I mean? Like other than him, you got Chicharito, zero success. Even like look at Andy Carroll. Some would class him a flop, but his stats, goals to games, and they ain't that bad. And West Ham always suit a bigger man up front. But yeah, he did it. He made it work with Arnautovic, but Arnautovic is a little bit bigger than Bowen. He's a little bit more physical. He's a little bit more of a bastard, whereas Bowen's not. He doesn't strike me as that dirty, get up in your face kind of attacker. He's more, I'm going to get round you because I've got flexibility, skill, and agility. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it from Moyes' press conference. Moving on to the head-to-head statistics. Right, before I go into that, I realised that Moyes got one manager sacked, not directly, but as a result of losing to West Ham, Wolves sacked their manager, and Ralph Hasenhüttl could be the second one to fall victim to a defeat to West Ham this season. We're not even 10 games in yet. But Southampton definitely need a reaction. Losing 11 of the last 15 isn't great reading. I mean, we had bad statistics in the Premier League off the back of last season, but even with them 2 wins over the past couple of weeks, it improves. It just makes it look a lot less of an eyesore, along with the European wins. Yeah, everything's seeming gravy at West Ham at the moment. But they started well. Southampton did start well. They beat Chelsea and Leicester earlier on in the season, but recently their form's gone off a cliff. Well and truly, Stevie Wonder walked off a cliff. They've lost to Wolves, Villa, and Everton, all teams that are direct competitors with Southampton into the mid-table to the lower mid-table spots. They lost to each one of them, and at this moment in time, they're 1 point and 1 place off of at the relegation zone. So it's not looking too pretty for them. We, on the other hand, are looking to make 5 wins on the trot. Who would have thought? I know 2 of the 4 games have only been European games, but the other 2 were relatively high pressure Premier League games where Wolves needed the points, of course, because they sacked their manager straight after, and Fulham, yeah, of course they need the points. They need as many points as they can, as early as they can, to secure safety. So both of them were tricky games, and we managed to win both. But Tomorrow's another test. Will Southampton be as bad as Anderlecht? I can see them being about the same because Anderlecht weren't bad. They weren't bad at all. But I can see West Ham comfortably winning this game. Has anyone noticed one thing that's coincided with our good form? Fucking Craig Dawson coming back into the side. It's weird, isn't it? Craig Dawson, the £2 million signing, has made that much of a difference, so much of an upturn in form. And it's amazing. It's just brilliant. It's a fairy tale story. Scamacca and Paqueta finding form at the same time, along with Bowen, is just brilliant. It's just like all the stars aligning. Anyway, Southampton have had one win in their last 6 games, being on the back end of 5 defeats. West Ham have won the last 3 in 6, having one be a draw and the other 2 being losses. So 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses isn't too bad in the last 6 in the Premier League. But our form in all competitions is 5 wins and 1 loss. The last loss, I believe, coming against Everton. But yeah, moving on to the predicted lineup and predicted scores. And I don't know, I think I could probably guess Moyes' 11 just off the top of my head, but I've gone for my own. This is the team I would choose. It's my predicted 11. But I'll tell you my predicted team, and I'll tell you the team that I think Moyes is going to choose. So I've gone with Fabianski, Johnson at right back, Kira at centre back, Dawson at centre back, Cresswell at centre back, Emerson at left wing back, Flynn Downs in the centre of the park along with Rice, Paqueta just in front of him, Bowen on the right, Scamacca up front, and Fornals on the left. Now, the team I think David Moyes is going to choose will be Fabianski, Kufal, Kira, Dawson, Cresswell, Emerson, Soucek, Rice, Paqueta, Bowen, Fornals, and Scamacca. And to end this video, I'm going to give you my score prediction. I reckon we're going to go for another 3-1 run out. 2 weeks in a row, you can't go wrong. I got last week right. So let's hope, eh? Anyway, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, come on you Irons.